All right. So today is the fourth session for the infrastructure squad. We're going to build a bunch of endpoints today. We're not going to learn. Oh God, backend squad. Okay. Yeah. Now we're going to build a bunch of endpoints today. We're not going to learn any new SQL or whatever. We're going to use what we've learned so far. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to actually jump in and try to deliver the backend requirements for some of the stories. So we have a bunch of stories in the backlog. Okay. I don't know if we remember what the backlog is. Does anyone remember? This is the sprint backlog.
Yeah, so this is a list of user stories that we created in Jira. How did I do that, Jira, by the way? I couldn't find it.
I haven't sent you an invite yet.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
I haven't sent an invite yet. I will see if I can do that tonight. If not, I'll do it tomorrow for sure. Okay. So what we're going to do now, what we did previously was we worked on class one, right? We worked on the user story for this. Now we didn't complete this actually. Well, no, I mean in the front end squad. But last time we looked at setting up the endpoint for this. I'll complete this, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to build an endpoint for the next one. We'll pick another one. I will build that, and then we will pick up other endpoints. Okay. So let's start off with this one. Let's start off with a review of this one. And let me open up Visual Studio Code. And we're going to jump in pretty quickly here. So I'm going to close this. Just start it fresh so it doesn't give us issues. So, okay, so started up Visual Studio Code here. My project here. I'm going to close all of this. Figure out from the front end squad. And I am in my application route. All right, so let's look at the people routes. Sorry. The routes people.js. Let's just see what we're doing here. Okay. Now, if we look at our user story here in Jira, it expects us to collect first name, last name, email address, phone number, and password, right? And comments. We typically will not store confirmed password. We only use that in the front end to compare to. We'll only use that in the front end to make sure that they typed in the password correctly. All right. So right now we're missing two fields. Let me do this. Let me open up MySQL here. This is on my local computer, this classroom, right? And I will say describe people. Okay. So we have, right now we have the fields, first name, last name, email address, phone number. Okay. Let's see what we have here. We don't have phone number here. Gender and age, we don't need. So we're going to remove those. And then we need password and comments. Okay. So let's remove the gender and age fields from here. So what we're going to do is we're going to say alter table, people, drop column, right, age, And then the same thing, we're going to drop column gender. Okay. Then we're going to add column for password, right? Add column password. And this is a bar car. 255. Okay, and then we're going to add column. And we'll add column comments, right? And we'll make it a media and text. Okay, so now if we describe table, describe people, right? So now we have password and comments as well. Okay, now let's just add those fields to our, what method creates a new entry? Who can remember what method creates a new entry?
A put.
Is it put?
Oh, sorry, post. Sorry, post.
Post. Post creates a new entry. So let's edit our post. And we're going to just change age and gender to password and comments, right? Okay, let's have the same number. Hold on, let me turn on line bar. So we have the same number of values, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 still. But then one changes to data dot password, right? And data dot comments. All right. So that's done. We've made the updates here. And then in the put, we also want to make the same update to put. Right? So we want to change the one password to that and comments to that. We'll change this to password and this. Okay. All right. So I've finished updating that endpoint. I just wanted to get it up to date. So here in this story now, here's what we've done in this story. There's a task here, right? Create database table. Is this done? Anyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So we can come here in Jira and we can mark this create database table. It's done. Then create API endpoint. This is done. We just finished that, right? Yes. So what?
So, sorry, just to make clear, the API is our interface to the database, basically these routers.
Yes. So when we say API endpoint, we're referring to a route. Okay. So every route, an API endpoint. Remember API, application programming interface. In this case, we're talking about a web service, a REST API, right? And so the endpoint is that route / people. Okay. So since we created the / people endpoint, and let's see, maybe we should just change the title here. Where is it? What's the title? Yeah, this title would say / people endpoint, because that's what we created. Let's save that. So that task is also done. So as far as this story is concerned, we're already making progress, and you can see that here. And that is the backend squad has done its work here, and then create MySQL database in AWS RDS. This is a task for the infrastructure squad. So, okay, but the backend squad, the two tasks that are backend tasks, are done.
Yay, we're leading.
Yep. And we're going to be leading by super far because when we go on to the next one. So that's done. Now let's pick up the very next one. Yeah, well, not the very next one, but the next one that requires a backend. As a facilitator, I want to retrieve a list of participants signed up so that I can manage my course roster. All right, this is already done because this is the get and the people endpoint, right? Let's look at something else. As a user, I want to authenticate myself. Let's skip that for a second. As a facilitator, I want to create a course so that I can make new material available for participants. This is a good one to work on. Okay. Let's write acceptance criteria for this, and then we'll build out the endpoints for it. So, given that I am a facilitator, one, I have an option to create a course, right? Two, when I select this option, I am presented with a course details screen. Okay, this screen has a form with the following fields, and this is where it now appeals to backend. So here we have the course title, right? Description, right? Topic, maybe subtopic, or category and subcategory. Let's say category, and let's say subcategory. Subcategory. What else would you want to add?
Course ID.
Well, that's going to be automatically generated. So let's do this. When I submit this form, a course ID is automatically assigned to my new course, right? And then let's say category will be a drop down. Select from a list. Okay. And then subcategory will also be select from a list. And I'm making that, I mean, this is standard, but we'll talk about solving this problem. Then when I submit this form, a course ID is automatically assigned, okay, to my new course. The date of creation of the course is tracked. Okay, so there. Now let's add subtasks. so that we have something to work on. So let's create a subtask, and let's just do this. Come on, what's my subtask? Okay, create slash courses API endpoint. That's the route. That's the
So
route we want to create.
in a real life scenario, who writes subtasks?
The developers.
Okay, cool.
So when you want to work on it, you will come in and create subtasks. Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. Now let me set this up so we can. So we'll just add one subtask. Yeah. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do something that's usually not done. I'm going to add new stories to the sprint. And here's why. As an administrator, I want to manage the list of course categories, right? So we say, as an administrator, I want to, actually here, no, this is, I want to create. Yes, okay. Yeah, let's do this. I want to create and manage course categories in the classroom, right, app so that I can keep the list of categories up to date. All right. Acceptance criteria. Um, given that I am an administrator, right? And then we start with one here. There is a categories screen. Okay. 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 And let me not go into details, but I will just say that um, there is a categories form with the following fields, right? And what's going on here? Name, description, okay? And then we'll say that when this form is submitted, the category is saved and the creation date and time is tracked. Okay? And I will say I can delete and edit categories. Once you see that, what am I asking for here? What I'm asking for CRUD. I want to be able to create, right? And then if we say here, this screen has a list of existing categories, right? And then there is there's an add category button, right? Okay, let's just do this. When the add category button is clicked, right? I will just do this. Category details form is displayed with the following fields. All right, so this story is ready. And let's copy this so that we can use this to create one for subcategory as well. As an administrator, subcategories. All right. Here we can paste this here, and we can change this to subcategories. And this to subcategory. Okay, so I'm going to do the more complex one, and then I will leave these two open.
On that form, should we not add that subcategory must be linked to a category?
Yes, you do make perfect sense here, sir. So let's go look for that. What's the story that we just made? Let's go back to the backlog. The bottom of the backlog right here. All right. And
a couple of people in the waiting room.
okay. We would okay, see you one day. All right. So let's come back here and let's add, yes, you're absolutely right that a category, a subcategory needs to belong to a category, right? So here the category, all right? And this is a list of existing categories. So what this is telling me is that our dear gentleman in the land of the Queen has volunteered himself to do this one.
Ha! Yeah.
All right, so let's get started. So we're going to start, I'm going to take the complex one. Let's do the course one, all right? As a facilitator, I want to create a course, okay? So let's do this. And we'll look at this story. So first thing we want to do here is that I know that I need a database table for courses, right? And my table will have course title, will have title, description, category, subcategory, and the creation date, and the course ID. Okay? So let's do this here. So we're going to say create table, courses, right? And we'll have our ID field, ID, which will be integer up to 14 numbers. And 14 here doesn't mean 1 to 14. It means a number that has 14 digits in it. That's what this means. That's the size of the field. So we can have essentially billions of courses, right? And this is our we have this is unsigned, not null, right? Primary key, auto increment, right? And then we have the course title, right? Make this a variable character of up to, let's say 100 characters long. And this is required. So when it's required, we'll say not null. Okay. And then we'll have a description. I will make this medium text. There are different data types in MySQL as well. So there's a reference for it. I'm not going into that yet, but we'll look at it later. But description, as we work, oh, spelled description wrong. Let's do this again. Description. All right. And then later I'm going to have to drop that column. What else do we have here? So we have description, and then we have category, ID, and we have category and subcategory, right? I want to create, where is it? All right, so let's change, first, this story is now in progress, right? So we're going to put it in progress because we're now working on it, okay? And then we do have this task. I think this will also will come up with this task in progress, which is what we're working on. Okay, so title, description. Now, because we say category, select from a list, and subcategory, select from a list, it means that we actually have a different entity in the database called categories, right? And so we want to connect to that. And you remember, we're going to do a foreign key, right? So we're going to create a field called category ID, right? We'll make it an integer, 14, and it's unsigned, and it's not small, because we want to require it, right? And then we'll do subcategory ID, same thing here. In this case, not for subcategory ID, integer 14, unsigned.
And remind me, unsigned means it can be negative. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct. I was going to ask who remembers what unsigned means. Not now. And then we're going to have date created, right? And this is just going to be a timestamp. And then we're going to have date updated. This is also going to be a timestamp.
Can I ask a question about They're not automatically populated, are they?
What do you say? They are. They're actually automatically updated.
Oh, I did one and it wasn't. And even when I did the update, it left it blank.
Yeah.
I must have done something wrong.
Okay. Yeah. So here, timestamp default now. Sorry, hold on. And the same thing here, we're going to do for date created timestamp default now. So if you don't do a default for it, then it won't be automatically populated.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So setting the default. So now we've created our database table. So let's see. describe courses. Okay, we have all our fields. You can see it says current timestamp here for the default. Okay. And we have to have a title. We don't have to have a description. Okay, let's drop that description field. So alter table courses dot column description. All right. Okay, so our table is ready. Any questions about creating this table? Nope.
Can you remind me about the auto increment?
Auto increment, it will start from 1, and the database will automatically go to the next number.
I know, I just like the instruction you used to add it.
Yes, it's right here. Primary key, auto increment.
All right, thanks.
Now it needs to be an int field that is unsigned.
Question here.
Yes.
You got date updated as a current timestamp. How would I know that I'm doing an update to update that? If you do you understand what I'm saying?
So what happens is if you don't put a value, you don't give it a value when you're inserting, that is just the default value. If you don't give it a value,
okay. Yeah. So what I mean is, so I've created a table. I've inserted a row.
Yeah. Now let's build the endpoint for this. It will probably answer your question, right? It will probably answer your question. I think I know where you're going with your question. So let's build this out, and you'll probably answer your question. All right. So now that we have the database table, let's jump in and let's create our courses route, our courses endpoint. Okay. So what do we need for our courses endpoint? We need anyone? What do we need for our courses endpoint?
So we need the same thing where we need a get method.
Yes. But first, how do we define that path, that route? Yeah, so we go to index.js, right? Okay, first, let's even just let's create the routes file. So here, right here, yeah, we're just going to come here and we're going to create a new file. We're going to call it courses.js, right? This is going to be our route handler. Okay, and then here in our index.js, so let's save that. And so we can come to index.js and we can now say first we need to import it, right? So we need to say just courses router, right? Because require okay. So here we've brought it into this file and set it in that variable, and now we can come here and say app.use courses router.
Can I stop you there for a second?
Yes.
It's in the same, isn't it? Is it not in the same? Oh, it's. Oh, it's no.
This is index.js.
Right, I've got it.
Okay. So index.js is where we set up our Express server. And so now we're defining a route on the Express server called courses. And we're asking it to use the courses router, right, to handle it. And this courses router is this variable that we declared up here. We declared this variable called courses router, and we assigned it the route handler exported from this file. Now, if we come to that file, we're not yet exporting anything,
That's fine. It's just that thing, because I didn't see .js, it threw me for a second, but I get it now.
Right. So now what we need to do is to now create our router, our route handler, right? So what we want to do is want to import Express first. So const Express equals require Express. All right. And then, and then here now we're going to say const router equals express the router. This is what they call a factory function. This gives us a new router object. And then we can now go to the end and say module.exports equals router. All right. And now we can start doing what we need to do. Now remember connection, we need to also bring in our database connection, right? So const connection equals require, actually, connection. Okay, so this brings in our database connection. And so now we can say router dot. So we want to create CRUD functionality, right? So let's say router dot post, right? And that is slash. And then we need a callback that takes a request and a response, right? Okay. And then here, remember, the data that's posted to the post endpoint is on the body property of the request object, right? It's a document, right? It's the body of the request, right? So now let's create our query. SQL equals insert into courses, right? And in courses, we want to insert the title, description, right? Category ID, subcategory ID. Okay. That's all. That's all we need. And then values. Here we want title, description, category ID, subcategory ID. Remember why we're putting it in quotes? In
yes.
question mark?
Yes.
Securing that it doesn't get hacked. Toggle word wrap. Right. So now we have our query. We have our params equals. Let me do something here. Let me do something new that we haven't done yet. And this is this is JavaScript, but it's ES6. I'm going to use what's called destructuring, right? So that rather than do data here, I'm going to destructure data. So I'm going to do this const title description. Come on, how do you spell description? Right? Category ID. Subcategory ID equals bracket body. This is what's called a destructuring assignment. And what this does is that you see, because of this curly braces here, right? It sees me as trying to create proper variables from the properties of this. So it will look on rec.body for the title property and assign it to a new variable called title. So look for a property called description and assign it to a property called description, and so on and so forth. And this way, I don't have to do data.title, data. You get what I mean? I don't have to do that anymore. I can just come here and say, and then create an array of my title, description, right? Category ID, subcategory ID. And then I can say connection.query, right? SQL data, and then my callback, all right? Error, result, and that's my callback function. And let's say if error, also the log error, just so that we can see if there's an error. And then here we're gonna do a rest the send. Okay, where yeah, let's also come here. Let's do rest the send error, just so that we can, it doesn't hang if there's an error. All right, so we created the create endpoint, right? This is quick. So let's test this out. Ooh.
Yeah, I see something. Basically, the beginning of your array that was kind of on. That was an underline.
Yeah, I don't have a data. I don't have an assignment operator. That's what it's missing. All right, and you can see the error says it right there. So it's missing initializer when it comes to declaration.
Okay.
So now I fixed it, and Node 1 has refreshed it. All right, so we have this set up now. We can come here now, and let's try it out. So let's try to create a new course here. So we're going to post. What's our URL? Let's start from here. Just post to courses, right? And let's do JSON. We want our title to be first test course, right? Let's add parameters here for description. This is a sample description for my first test course. All right, and then let's add parameter category ID. Let's do 1 subcategory ID. Let's do 2 or 1 as well. Let's just do 1 1. Okay, who's ready for this? Click on this. Wow.
All right.
Hey, we get an error. You have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to. Yeah. Okay. Where near values. Oh, what's going on here? Insert into courses. Oh, I have a comma here. I have a comma here. I don't need a comma. All right, let's save this again. Let's try that again. There, succeeded. And let's look at our database. There. Okay, so we've been able to create our first course. Okay, so this has served the purpose. The last thing that we need to do is that the endpoint should not return this. The endpoint should return the course with its ID, right? So what we need to do, you see the response here has a value called insert ID. We need to use that to retrieve the course that was created. And I'm going to explain why we're doing that right now, right? So here we're going to say, connection.query, right? Select all from courses where ID equals, all right? We'll give it results that insert ID, right? And then here, we now want error and course, right? That's our callback. And then here, what we want to do is want to move this rest as send inside that callback. Let's kill this line. And the one here return is because this query is going to return an array. So let's try this. Let's create a second course here. Second test course. This is going to be second. Let's try this. Ooh, we have an error.
You allowed the same category ID. You didn't make them foreign primary keys, did you?
Oh, results is undefined.
Okay.
Oh, it's result. Sorry. Let's do the result. Sorry, what did you say? All right. This is what we want back. Yeah, I gave them the same category ID.
So oh yeah, I guess you could actually, because it could be the same category.
Yep,
okay.
you can. Yep, they can be in the same category. Okay. Okay, so let's talk through what we did, and then I need someone to jump in and create the endpoint for categories. Okay. And I need somebody else to be trying while the person is creating the endpoint for categories, I want a volunteer to be trying out endpoint for subcategories. Okay. Now, since we had our gentleman from the land of the Queen volunteer himself unwillingly to do subcategories, we'll have him do subcategories. All right. So, but first, let's jump in here and let's just quickly look at what we did here. Just a quick refresher. So, quick refresher, we went to index.js, right?
Yep.
We imported the router that we're creating. You have to import it here into a variable, and then we use that router for the route. So you have to register that route on your Express server, which is called app. Okay? If you don't register the route, there's not going to be anything listed on that route. Okay?
Yeah,
But there's not going to be a route handler. So you have to register the route handler.
Okay.
Next, we create the route handler file, right?
Yeah.
And in our route handler file, we import Express because we need Express to create our route handler, right?
Yeah.
To create our router, right? So we import Express, and then Express has a method called router. That's a factory that returns a new router object. Okay? So we call this router method. It gives us back a new router object, and then we can create our routes on the router object. Okay?
Okay.
And then at the end of the file, we export our router.
Okay.
Now, we also need our database connection, which remember we created a file called connection. I think Dapo, you couldn't find it after that class, right?
Yeah, but I think you pushed it afterwards. So no,
But it's there now.
Yeah.
So we have this connection.js that holds our database connection information. So we have to require that. We're requiring it differently because it is a file that we created. If you don't put the dot slash or dot slash, it will assume it is something that was installed by npm.
Okay.
So Express was installed. It's a node module that was installed with npm. If you put the dot slash or dot slash and now say, okay, it is actually a file I created and it is in the current folder, dot slash is in the parent folder. So go up one level, which is where connection is. And that's it. Now in here, this here is a new assignment style. I haven't taught you this yet, but I decided to use it so we start getting used to using it. If you do an assignment like this, you will get respect because this is ES6. This is like the very latest JavaScript. And what this does is that if you're assigning the properties of an object to variables, you can do it like this. This is called destructuring, like structuring, then backward structuring, like reverse engineering the object. So you just put in the names of the fields on the object like this and say equal to router. It's the same thing. This here is the same thing as saying const title equals rec.body.title. And then saying const description equals rec.body.description. You see how tedious this is?
Yeah, got you. Yeah.
I keep going. So rather than doing this for all of them, just do this one line and it will assign your variables. Okay? We create our query. This is a parameterized query. We create our array of the data of the values for the parameters. Remember, it has to match. And then we execute our query with connection.query. This executes the query against the database. We pass it a SQL query, pass it the data, and then this is the callback that handles the response from the database. Okay? Here, we're just saying if there's an error, send the error. If I wanted to have an error code, I can actually do that. Okay. Oh, okay. No, let me do it. Yeah. I just sort of, what I'm trying to do is this rest the status. So, all right. And that's it. Now, the last thing here is that I now did a query on the database to fetch the newly created record, right? And
Yeah.
then I return that. So it's essentially I create it in the database, but I send it back. That is important. That is the standard. If you're creating a REST endpoint, and we haven't talked about REST yet. Well, not in this session, but we will. You're creating a REST endpoint. When you create an entity, you need to send the created entity back as the response to say, hey, okay, I handled your post correctly. Here's the result of it. Okay. Any questions? And who's my second volunteer? Who's going to be the second volunteer? Let me see. I'm going to pull someone. I think I know who I'm going to pull. So the second volunteer isn't going to share his screen. Okay. The first volunteer, who is the gentleman from the land of the Queen, will share his screen. We can laugh at him and all that, and we can point. You know.
I'm just going to be copying your code and then changing it.
Right.
Right.
Now, the second volunteer. Now, I want you to try to do it from scratch, but we'll talk you through it.
There's no way I remember that code offhand.
Don't worry. We'll talk.
Okay.
But trust me, by the time you've done it once, after that you will remember it. All right. And
Okay, I'll volunteer.
Okay. Actually, no, let me do this. I'm going to pull another volunteer. Folayemi. And you can work on it as a group. Okay. So
quick question.
Folayemi will do categories. And Dapo will do subcategories.
Right. So quick question. Can you push your stuff that you've done already?
Yes.
And then do we also have to do the databases as well?
Yes. So first thing you have to do is a database. So we'll walk through it. Okay.
Right. Quick question. Mm-hmm. I tried to do a poll and it's telling me how do you merge? It's telling me QA dash.
Hold on. Well, we'll see your screen now. So
okay.
Yeah, just hold on. You share your screen. So hit status. Okay, we have a new file in route. So hit add. And get commit. Created courses close to endpoint. Right? Git push. Pull. Git push. Okay, I pushed. So I'm going to stop sharing for Dakwa. And just before I stop sharing, let's remember what it is that we need to do. So for Folayemi, and Folayemi, can you acknowledge you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Are you up for this? You accept the challenge?
No.
Why don't you accept the challenge?
I don't want to do this.
Okay, who wants to do it?
That's not an option.
I don't want Wale to do it. Wale is a little too active. I'm going to pick someone else. Let me see. Okay, let's see. Is Tommy or Jimmy up for doing this? Anyone of you three? Is one of you three up for doing it?
I didn't hear the question.
No, if any.
Yeah. Jimmy, are you up for creating the the categories endpoint?
Okay, I guess so.
Okay, you don't have to do it on the screen. You can just do it there, and then when you're done, we're going to work through the subcategories, and you can work on categories at the same time. And then when we're done, I just want to know if it works for you. Okay, but that allows you to actually practice it in real time from scratch. So we're going to work through subcategories, and in parallel, you can work on categories.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right, great. Thanks for doing it. All right, so let's jump in now. So for categories, for the categories endpoint, let's look at the story here. You only need to have two fields actually. Well, you need a name field, a description field, an ID, and date created, date updated. Okay, and then for subcategories, you need name, category ID, because once you see from a list, then that means it's going to be a foreign key relationship, right? And
Yep.
then description. Okay, so let's do this now. I will stop sharing, and that will share.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. So, share. I want to share. You got to allow sharing.
Oh yes, sorry. Okay.
Shares. Okay, share screen. Share. Can you see
Okay.
it? Yep. So I'm
So
just gonna.
you did
Yes,
a
I
git pull.
Oh, I just done that. I just did. I just
Okay,
done
yeah.
it.
Yeah, your
I just,
git pull is fine. Yeah.
I just did it before you switched to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, your pull is fine.
So I want to do.
So you want to connect to MySQL?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. MySQL you root.
Then -p.
The password. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
So use. So I want to create.
For a second.
Sorry.
So therefore, were you connecting to MySQL from Visual Studio Code?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It's just like it's the same as doing it in my terminal. I'm just too lazy to go to my terminal.
Okay. Yeah, and you're using Apple, right? You're using a Mac.
Yeah, correct. That's correct. Yes.
Okay. So those of us in Windows, if we were to connect to MySQL, do we also do it from Visual Studio Code or we do it from Git Bash? I'm trying.
I honestly don't want to.
Most likely Git Bash. Either Git Bash, or you launch the MySQL shell
itself.
MySQL
So
itself, yes.
when you launch the MySQL itself, how do you then, because that has been my own confusion with this one, how do you connect MySQL to what you're doing in Visual Studio Code?
So MySQL is in your computer, is installed on your computer. It's a
Okay.
command that your computer understands.
Okay.
The terminal, whether it's in Visual Studio Code or whether it's in MySQL or whether it's in your actual command line, talks to MySQL. You're talking to your computer basically.
Okay.
You understand? So when you say MySQL, if MySQL is on your computer, it will tell you, oh, MySQL is on your computer. What's your password? You get your password. If MySQL is not on if MySQL is not on your computer, it will tell you it doesn't understand what MySQL is.
Okay.
You understand? So don't see Visual Studio Code terminal as something different from, I mean, yeah, there's some differences, but essentially it's just another window to talk to your computer, just without the windows. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Yeah, you're doing good. So
yeah, right. So
your
sorry, I can't remember what the
ID,
okay, okay, ID, yeah,
and then space. Now
okay,
it's
yeah,
an integer.
yeah, that's yeah, okay, yeah,
It's an integer, and yeah,
14,
and yes, 14. And
right.
then it is unsigned. It's an unsigned integer.
So I'm gonna go caps unsigned.
Yeah, and it's not null.
Not null. Auto increment something.
Primary key.
Oh yes, primary key. Yes. Primary key.
And the underscore increment. Yep.
Is that right?
Yep. Comma.
And
And then
so
the
what's
name.
Okay.
Name.
Course name, yeah? Or is it just name?
No, name. So it's the name of the category. So just name.
Okay. Name. So name.
And
so it's varchar.
Yes, varchar, variable character. Which means it can be letters and numbers. That's what varchar means. Do you want a category name to be as long as 255 characters?
Nope.
100.
Yes. You probably
Even
want to go with
Even
like
100 is too much.
even 100 is like maybe 20.
20, okay. Go with that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry,
And then
you got rid of much of it. Description?
yeah, description. You're in uppercase.
I hate this whole class is watching me business.
Now for description,
Yeah.
use medium text.
Oh yeah, I've seen it before. I saw this.
So medium text is bigger than varchar 255. It will allow you to actually have more texts. Varchar 255 is the largest, is the max for varchar.
Is that the right format? Medium text?
Yes, one word. And
okay.
Nothing, no parentheses.
No parentheses, okay. Is that okay? Okay, so go on.
Is there anything larger than medium text? Like large text?
Large text.
I think there's large text.
So large text is the largest?
No, then there's blob, binary large object.
Interesting.
So blob is like videos, isn't it? Isn't that what
or like photos, right?
So
okay.
Binary large object, yeah.
I see.
Okay. What next?
So you want date created. Well, no. So you need category ID.
Gotcha.
Because you're doing the subcategories, right? So you need category ID. And that's an integer, unsigned integer. Not null.
Okay.
And then next, if your date created.
Oh.
Yeah, you'll get used to it. So your created date needs to be a timestamp with a default of now. And now is a function. No, now is a function. Well, go on. You'll probably go on. You'll get a chance to fix it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Date updated. And that's a timestamp with a default value of now.
So default, but now it's lowercase. Is that what you're saying?
No, now it's all uppercase, but it's a function.
Oh,
it's a database function. Yeah, so you're calling the now function, which open and close parentheses.
Parentheses, yeah, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, that's the function.
So, right, okay, quick question. So I can't correct that one
don't press,
right?
Yeah, before I press enter, remove the comma.
Oh, because that's the last one.
Yeah, because that's the last field. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Press enter.
And then the comma,
and
semicolon.
then close parenthesis and semicolon. You know you had a parenthesis on the first
Yeah.
line. Yeah, so
Where's-
close
oh,
it and semicolon.
Right, okay.
All right, press
So-
enter. All right, so it's complaining
Yeah.
about the
I see.
now.
Yeah.
So just press up,
Yeah.
and then you can move your cursor to make it
Oh,
function.
okay.
Mhm.
This is the okay. That's a lot easier.
But before you submit it,
Yeah.
make the name not null as well. The name field. Yeah,
Not wait.
not null. Yeah. So
Okay.
make,
Okay.
you have to make now a function. You passed it. You skipped it.
I thought I did.
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah, you lost it. You lost it when you. Mhm. And I keep going back all the way to name. Now, if you hold down, are you on Windows?
No,
Are you on the Mac? If you hold down,
I'm here now. Already.
Yeah, I think it's Option on the Mac. If you hold down Option while moving with the cursor, it will skip words.
So is that it?
Yeah. Press Enter.
What? Even while I'm still here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That didn't. That literally did not do anything. Oh, sorry. I know what I did. I know what happened.
All right. So you now have. So you can say show tables.
Sorry for my bad capital letters.
Yeah. So you're on a Mac, so it's for giving. On Linux, it will give you the.
Oh,
back
will it?
finger.
Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. So that's created.
So you've created your table.
Yeah.
Nicely done. So now create your
now-
route.
Yes. Right. Okay.
Now you need to create your route.
Oh, good. Right. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to create another file and call it sub. Not in caps. So please, if I'm spelling this, can you guys tell me, because I'm terrible with spelling.
Yeah, subcategories.
Yep.
And that's in routes. Perfect.
That's the right. Yep.
All right.
So what I need to do, so bear with me a minute, if I go here, and this is what I'm good at. I'm good at copying what other people have done.
No, type it out. Type it out.
Type it.
Type it out. It actually helps. Type
You're
it
such a hard taskmaster.
out. Well, that's how I learn.
That's how he trained. He was trained by Pai Mei in the deep jungles.
Pai Mei, oh,
Pompeii.
what a legend. So cutting.
Router.
So I'm going to require the file.
The first few times I do something new, I actually do it by hand, even if I can copy it. Like I type it out. I do it a few times until I can do it from memory.
You are more honorable than I am.
Yeah, because you will get, especially like if you go to an interview or something.
Yep.
They ask you, you don't want to be stuttering. You want to have already done it before. But when you copy and paste, you don't actually learn it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've done that. I need to also down here. So I'm gonna just do what you said. Try and do it from scratch. App use. What's it called?
Subcategories.
Can't see. I'm so paranoid I'm going to misspell it somewhere here.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Subcategories router. Is that right?
No, yes.
Oh,
And
I like that.
So when it does that, you can tab, just press tab to complete it.
Okay, and so so that line is telling it to listen on that subfolder.
Yep, on
Okay,
that
cool.
file.
Okay, so that I can save. I think I'm done with that one. Another hard one. And you said I can't copy and paste.
No. So let's talk through the steps. What's the first thing you need?
So I need Express.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm going to just look. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I need.
So you need to import Express, right? You need to require Express.
So I want to require.
And you can use tab. That way you don't have to go to the mouse.
Okay, so.
And then in quotes.
Oh, okay.
Express.
The function, yeah.
Yep. Requires a function. Express.
So did not give me Express. Okay, it does. Okay. Do I need a semicolon at the end of this?
Yes, you always need a semicolon at the end.
Okay.
Does the space matter? The space between the require and the bracket?
No.
This one here.
No,
Okay.
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Right.
So now I'm going to say.
You need to create a router.
A router, yeah.
A router.
So I'm going to say constants.
Right.
Router.
Variable.
Oh God, you make us talk an American. Router.
All right.
It's Express.
Yeah.
Dot something. That one there.
I'll press tab. Yeah, press tab.
Oh, nice.
And then.
Okay.
Now, router is a factory function, so it's a function you're calling. So express.router is a function, so make sure you're calling a function.
Okay.
You are not calling that function. Remember, when you call a function, how do you call a function?
Right. I'm lost. I don't know.
Calling a function is open and close parentheses.
Sorry, can you please let the people in?
Yeah, you said it to me earlier, didn't you? Okay, yeah.
So that's open and close parentheses will.
So is that right? What I've just done, or not?
Yes, that is right. All right, and then let's give some space and export that. And you have a basic router with no handlers.
So was it module export?
Module.export. Just type EX and then you can tab complete it. Just type EX. Go ahead. There you go.
Right. Module export
equals router. Yeah.
Sorry? Equal to what?
So assign router to module exports.
Yeah.
So you're exporting router. Now you need space. You need a space before and after your operator, your assignment operator. It's not required, but it's best practice. All right.
Sorry, okay, yeah. Even here, why has it got me dots under this require?
Which one? Remove the space after it. Remove the space after. Yeah.
I think Olawale just said that already as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
No, that's not why you have the dots. Even Yinka's code has the dots.
Yeah, not that router. The router you need to export is the router that your router variable. So on line 2.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So I need to export this one.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
I remember it's case sensitive, so uppercase is different from. Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now you're exporting your router just fine.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So now,
run it and see how you're doing so far. Save, and then.
I've saved it. Yes, I've done a save. So I want to exit this, and I want to node what you call again.
Use NodeMon. Use NodeMon so you can use Node Monitor.
That one, yeah.
Yeah, NodeMon index.
Woo. And here we go. Mode mon not found.
We'll do npm install.
Sorry?
Do npm install.
And mode none, what? Mode none, yeah?
No, just press enter. No, it's already in packages. You're just missing. All right.
Yeah?
All right. So now try nodemon. Interesting. Okay, do npm install nodemon. npm install nodemon.
And it's node MON like that, yeah?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so let's try that. Not yet? Doesn't like it. Am I typing that right?
Type it again. I tried
Yeah,
type it out again. Well, I don't. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Well, okay. Just do node index. Solve this later.
Yes.
Okay. So you're good so far. All right. So write out your post function.
Sorry?
Post. So let's write a post handler.
Yeah. Right. So I want to do a post. Okay, router. So it's got someone start with. Oops.
Yeah. So you're creating a post on the router. Yeah. Or you're essentially defining the post handler.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's router, by the way, even if you're British.
No, it's router.
Yeah, it's
Root
router.
and route, but it's router. There's no such thing as router, even if you're British.
There is. What are you talking about?
Let's go on. That's a distraction. All right. So,
And then Express is I need a request and a response.
well, you need to define the path.
Oh,
okay, you
yes,
have the path. Okay, no, you have the path. That's correct. No, slash is correct.
Yeah.
All right, and then yes. So and then you need a callback. So it's two parameters. So you need a comma and then you need a callback.
Yeah.
It's request and response.
Request. Does it show me request? Yes,
so
request.
Just rec. No. These are variables you're adding.
Okay.
Just rec.
Yeah.
Comma.
So small case.
Yes. Rec, comma, and res.
Okay.
All right. Now it's an arrow function. So you remember in the space and the
space.
arrow. No
space.
No, on the inside. Not
there. Yeah.
Before the closing braces, yes.
What am I doing? Okay,
so
and
space. You need a space before the equal to. You always need a space before your operators, yes.
Okay.
So, and then equal to greater than arrow, yes. And then space and opening curly. And then press enter to create a new line. Press enter. There you go.
Okay.
All right. Now put a semicolon at the end of line 6. I don't like VS Code because it makes you miss that. But at the end of line 6, yes, put a semicolon.
Okay.
All right. Now, in there.
So I want, this is my SQL statement, right?
Well, yes. First, let's get your data off of the request button.
Okay.
Okay. So you're going to do a destructuring assignment. Remember what that is like?
That's the one you did, that new thing you did just now.
Yes. So that's when you want to create a new variable, what do you do?
So I normally just declare like let blah. What you're saying.
Let blah or const blah, right?
Yeah. Okay. So we're saying.
So use const. And then actually at the beginning of that line, press tab. And I'm going to explain something to you here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I get this.
You have to indent. Yes.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So const, and then Now, for a destructuring assignment, you're going to be creating a set of variables, right?
Yes.
But you will create it as if you're creating an object. So const, then open curly. Okay.
Yeah.
Open curly. No, you always have to have a space, remember?
Okay.
You must have a space.
Yeah.
And then in it now the fields that you want to get from the body. So what fields do you want to get from the body?
So I've got category ID. No. Sorry, subcategory ID. It's just ID, isn't it?
No, the ID is automatically generated.
Oh yes. So we put stuff in. So we want name.
Yep.
We want description.
Yep. So comma space.
I did put comma. Oh, space.
Yep. So it's a list. So it's a list of variables you're declaring.
Description. Category ID.
Yes. So space category ID.
Is that the next one though? Is that in the right order?
Yeah, that's it. It doesn't have to be in order.
Oh, okay. That's trash because we're naming it.
Yeah.
Now
you have to have a space after the comma. Remember that.
Yes. So bad habits.
Okay. All right, and then.
Is that it?
Yep, and then put a space between the closing curly. Yes, you need to put a space there. Yep.
Okay.
And then equal. So your assignment operator.
Yep.
As you're assigning it, write the body is your source.
Sorry?
The body of your request.
Oh yeah. Sorry, what's that word again? Request body? Dot body? No?
No. What's your variable in your callback? And put the space. Look at your callback where you defined your callback. On line 4. Yeah. Can you fix your spacing on line 4?
Where do you want me to fix this bit?
So you have a lot of spacing issues there. Your commas.
Oh, okay.
The comma,
Yeah.
space.
Oops.
Yeah.
Shut up. Okay, let me just do this. So boom, 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 boom. All spaced up nicely like a boss.
Okay. All right.
Right.
Yes. All right. So now the request, the variable you're looking for there is the variable you're passing into in your callback.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So right that. No, it's not request. You see, you just called it REQ.
No, you lost me now. I quit what?
So the request you're going to use there is what you define is what is the input parameter to your callback on line 4. Yeah, so it's that same request.
Oh. Yeah. But
so you want the body, property of it. So that body.
Oh yeah, okay. So that's what. Yep.
Yep, and close
That's it. Yep. And then here is the query.
Yeah. Now hold on. There's a problem.
Okay.
Why is line 5 underlined?
Why is no line 5?
Const is underlined.
Can I just look what you did here? Const.
No.
This line?
No. Go back to yours. Go back to subcategories.
Go back to mine, yeah?
Go back to your subcategories.
Yeah.
And let's
equal
see.
to. Is it equal to? Remember?
No. Now let me see what kind of, is that a curly bracket you have?
Yes.
Okay, can you click on line 4?
Yes.
Click on line 4. Yeah, let me see.
Yeah.
Okay, now just mouse over. Oh, I see what the problem is. On line 4, the end of your line 4 needs to be a curly, not a parenthesis.
Oh, that one.
To block, yeah, that's why. So it needs to be a curly. Yeah, remove the closing one, and then on line 7,
So
you have to
delete,
close it.
and then
Yeah.
this one close it here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because you're defining a block.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Now
So
you're
happy.
good. Now
Okay.
you're good. All right. So next, your query. Your query to insert into the
So
data.
my query is, so I have to do SQL, right?
Mm-hmm. You can name it whatever you want.
Yeah.
But you're declaring you're declaring a string variable.
Yeah. It's equal to, I don't know, put this in quotes, right? Do I?
It's a string.
Oh, so it is a string. Okay, sorry.
Mm-hmm. So your query is a string. Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, insert. So
And then in parentheses, the names of the fields you're inserting.
So name,
Mm-hmm.
description.
Yeah, don't forget your space after commas. So comma space, comma space.
And category ID.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yep.
And then values.
And then yeah.
And then in parentheses, put parameter placeholders.
Oh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And it's free, right?
Yeah. One for each of those fields. Yeah. And
okay.
Then you can close your string. Yep. And semicolon at the end.
Is that right where I put it? Is that fine?
Yeah. Is that semicolon or a colon?
A semicolon.
Okay. And then you can press enter.
Okay.
Okay, there's something wrong with the end of that. You don't have a closing quote.
Well, hold a minute. There's a.
Because you needed the
Oh yeah.
closing
Right.
bracket.
No, you're
You
right.
need a closing quote.
Yeah. This. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There you go. All right. So you define your query, and then create your data, because for your parameters of your query, there has to be an array, right?
Right. An array.
Yeah.
Now I'm blanking now. Totally.
Create an array variable. Don't look. How do you create a variable? How do you define a variable? Or how do you declare a variable?
Constant.
Uh-huh. And let's let the identifier be, let's say, data. Constant data.
Yep.
Okay, it's an array with the 3 fields.
An array. Okay. Oh, okay. With 3 fields.
You need an assignment.
So that means here.
No. So you're declaring a variable. No.
Yeah.
No. Remember how you declare a variable.
Oh, sorry.
Constant identifier equals.
Yeah.
And an array is square brackets. So an array is square brackets. Yeah. Yep. And then the data that you want to submit is the variables you declared on line 5, right?
5, line 5, yeah.
Yeah. So those are the elements you want in your array.
So I have to put that in again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that a bit of a repetition?
No. On line 5, you're declaring them.
Okay.
On this line, you're using them.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, and then remember you have to have a closing semicolon. Yeah. Okay, now execute your query.
Let me save it.
You know what you're missing here?
Connection.
Yep. Because how are you going to run your query?
Yeah.
So
that should that be up here somewhere?
I will let you answer that. So think about
Can
it.
Can,
Think
yeah,
By
about it.
11?
Yeah. So think about it. Where is your connection defined? It's in another module, right?
Yeah, it's in here.
So now you want to bring that into here. How do you do that?
So I require it.
Exactly.
Just like I did here.
Yep.
But yeah, what I'm saying is, can I put it up here or do I have to put it below here? I guess it's question mark.
Yeah, if you put it below, what's going to happen? It's not going to exist.
Oh yeah, because if you execute it, it won't find a connection. Okay, so
exactly.
Okay. Is that correct?
Require. And then it quotes.
Yes, it's correct.
And now remember, it's in a folder above.
So it's
one level above.
Is that? Oh no, so that's telling me quotes is that's wrong then. So it's two dots.
Yep. So remove the slash. And you see Visual Studio Code is helping you.
Yeah, that is brilliant. I can't believe that it's actually telling me.
Yep. It's called IntelliSense.
Okay.
All right. So you wrote your connection in. All right. Yep. So now execute your query.
Okay. So let me just save that. And control break.
No, but you haven't executed your query yet. In your code, it's not going to do anything.
Oh, sorry.
Because you've only declared the variables to hold the query. You haven't actually executed it. So there's a method on connection called query that you use to execute queries. Okay, so your SQL statement, you need to use the query method of connection to execute your SQL statement.
Would that be within this box here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So after declaring it, the next thing you need to do is actually execute it. So
that'll be down here.
Yep.
So
connection.
Yeah. So you say
dot query.
Okay.
Connection dot query.
Sorry?
Connection dot query.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Now it's a method. No, it's a method.
Right.
You're calling a method. You're calling a function.
So I need to do this.
No, you're calling a function. Yes. But no space.
Oh, no space. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And you see, it tells you, well, it doesn't tell you. But the first parameter, put your
let me go over again.
Right.
Yep.
Now you see it's telling you
what query. So I should put SQL in there.
Yes, sir. That's your query. Okay, comma.
Yep. Error.
And then space. No. You need to pass it the data. Remember, it's parameterized.
Okay.
So you tell it what query to execute, what data to use.
Yep.
And then you need a callback.
And the callback. Oops. Is the
error,
comma,
and results. Okay. And it's an arrow function. So after the first closing space, arrow.
That one, arrow.
Space. Open curly. Press enter. Press enter. Yeah, there you go. All right. See, it's coming together. And now in here, you can say result.send.
So can I go back?
So response.send. No, tab indented.
Yeah.
Rest.send. And just say done. You're going
What?
to take, just rest.send is a method.
Okay.
Remember,
So
it's a
that
method.
okay. So that rest is the results, right?
No. Rest
Okay.
is the response of the
Yes.
handler.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So rest.send. Now, one thing I want you guys to always remember, whenever it's a method, whenever you're asking it to do something, it's typically going to be open and close parentheses.
Okay.
That's usually when you're asking a script to do something. You're calling a function of some sort.
Okay. So
Right.
actually, yeah. Okay, fine.
And then just make it a string done. Just done a string.
Done. Oh, as a string. Okay, I'm with you now.
As a string. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. And then
Okay.
put a semicolon at the end.
Yep.
Okay. And put a semicolon at the end of the next line too.
Don't we need to return back, select all from?
No, well, you do that. That's going to be your homework to do.
Okay. Okay.
Right. All right. So now you can stop the server and start it. Okay. And let's try it out in Postman.
What did I do? So it's a post one we're doing, yeah? So we're doing a post.
So, yes. You might need to copy the URL from your terminal.
Well, this one here. It's there already. No, it's there already.
Oh, okay. You have it there already.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Great.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And so, what's your path? Your path to the endpoint is / subcategories, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, yep. So click on body. Click on body. Body.
So I want JSON.
Click on body.
Yeah.
And then change it to
Where's your one? No.
No. That's the body. Hold on. No, just wait. Hold on right there. This request requires a body. Use form data. Go to form data. Let's see. Oh, you know what?
Yep.
Okay. I guess that's fine. Go to headers. Actually, go to headers. I want to see. In key type content type content.
Type content.
Yeah, in the key right there where you are. Just type content. Yeah, so it's content type.
Yep.
And then value, type JSON, JS. Yeah.
Yep.
Select application JSON. All right. Now go to body.
But yours is a lot better.
Yes, mine is definitely better. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So type key. So key.
Yeah.
No, just type, yeah. Name. So you want to do name, description, description, and category ID, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Category ID. Okay, have a name. Yeah, call it whatever you want. That works too. And then category ID, just go with one. So
Okay.
just you know that hopefully there'll be at least one. All right.
Okay.
Okay, and send.
Oh.
Okay. Yes. Yes. All right,
Do
now
I-
let's
do
go
I-
check your database. Go check your database.
Okay, let me use this so I don't have to come out of that.
Okay.
I always do this.
Use classroom. Select all from subcategories. Now you need spaces. Yeah.
See, I'm always in a rush. So
No, it's okay. Subcat. Press tab. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Press tab. Press tab right there. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. MySQL will. Oh, it's empty. All right. Here's one thing. Go back to your server, to your route handler.
To my where?
Go back to VS Code. Yes.
Yeah.
Now do if error console log error.
Okay.
All right. If so, on a new line, press enter, create a new line.
Yeah.
And just do if, and then in parentheses, a conditional statement. So if error. No, you have to put it in parentheses. So it's an if conditional, yeah, error. Right. And then opening curly, do a block. No, after the if error, after the closing parentheses.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah. Your good old JavaScript conditional. Press enter.
Yeah.
And then console log error. Right there, console log. And then parentheses, error. No, not in quotes, not in quotes. Let me actually output the error itself. Error variable.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Save it. And then kill that and run it again.
No, did I say that? Control S, I did. Control C. Try you again. Yep.
Yeah. All right. And then go back to Postman, post it. Okay. Now let's see. Go back to your terminal. VS Code. Go to VS Code. No, VS Code.
Yep.
So there's an error there. And what does it say? Column name cannot be null. Okay, so what's happening here is that go back to Postman. The problem is not from your code, it's from Postman. You need to go to raw. Click on raw. Yeah, and you need to actually manually create that JSON object.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because unfortunately, Postman is not as cute as mine. Oh, wait, hold on. You see JSON there? Click on the arrow beside JSON.
Oh, yes, we see.
Yeah, click on that. Yeah, JSON. Click on JSON there.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, but it still needs to be. Yeah, it's still, no, body is where you need to be because you need to send your data. So don't leave body. But unfortunately, let me see. Click on that
Wait,
drop
you did
down.
yours. I thought you were using Postman. Were you not using Postman?
No, I was using something else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so click on Jason. Let's see what's on that drop down. Okay, yeah, Jason. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, but it doesn't make it different.
Okay, so open curly. Just do it. Open curly.
Okay.
Like create a JSON object.
Yeah.
All right. Press enter. Like a new line. Right now, in quotes, double quotes this time. In double quotes, description. Name.
Yeah.
No, name. You have to a key value. You have to give the key first. Name.
Okay.
And then colon. After name, no, outside of the quotes. So you know how JSON is. You have a key and you have a value. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Colon value. Not semicolon. Colon. So the name, what is the name? The description, what is the description?
So let's see. Yeah, your form was better than this.
Okay. Now make sure that's in quotes as well. It's a string. Yeah. And in double quotes. Everything here has to be double quotes. Yeah.
I just knew you were going to say that.
No, that's because that's the structure of a well-formatted JSON string. If you don't, it won't work. So comma, and then the other fields.
So description.
No, next line. Press enter. Yeah. And then quotes, description.
And that next line is just good manners, right?
Yeah, and then because it's already putting it on different lines for you. Okay. And it has to be in double quotes.
Yeah,
remember, it's a string. Yeah. So when it's a string is a string. You have to treat a string as a string.
Gotcha. And it's Patsy query underscore Mr. ID. And the same thing. And let me remember to open my quotes and 1.
Now this can be, since this is an integer, it doesn't need to be quotes.
Yeah. Gotcha.
All right, try sending it now.
This is done.
Okay, now go there. Okay, no error here. So now run your query.
So it's put it in.
Yep.
So my lesson learned from here is I don't like this Postman.
Yeah. Hold on.
Because yours was quite easy to use. You know, it gave you a nice little form.
Yeah.
A GUI, a better GUI to use. Can we install that?
Yes. So what I used is in Firefox.
Oh, okay.
In Firefox, and it's called Rested.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a Firefox extension called Rested.
Like I'm sleeping rested. Yeah? Okay, cool.
Because it's very relaxing.
Yeah, only for people like you. Right, cool. I'll get that. Right, is my placement over?
Yeah, so, yep. I mean, you've done it. It's gotten all the way to the database, right?
Yes.
Yep. Now what is going to be your assignment there is to make it return that record that it created in the database.
Okay, to display. Yeah. Okay, I'm with you.
Make that the return. Right now, it's just returning the string done.
Yeah.
Right? We don't want it to return the string done. We want it to return the record it created in the database.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, how do you feel? I mean, you wrote this yourself, kind of.
I wouldn't go that far, but yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, at least it's on your machine, it's working. You typed it out with your own fingers. So yeah. So I mean when you try to have it return that recording database, you will understand a lot more.
Okay.
That exercise will help you understand a lot more.
Got you.
Right. Now what are yeah, just give that a shot and let's see. Okay. All right. And how are you doing, Jimmy? Is Jimmy still there?
You've checked him away.
Yeah. I think we scared Jimmy off.
Ask
I don't
if
think so.
you should ask if it's the only if it's not only you and Dapo that are left in the class.
Who else is left in the class? No, I think I heard Ralph or
Okay, right
Rocky.
now.
Yeah. Who else do we have?
Ralph doesn't count.
Who else do we have that's alive?
Still here.
Okay. All right. So let me take over sharing from Dakwa. So Dakwa, that's your exercise to chase down returning that record.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. And all right. So we're going to end here. Any questions? Or are we hopelessly lost?
Oh, well, this is
After a
Ralph.
while, we left you on your private date. We didn't want to interrupt the romantic dinner.
Olawale, jealousy is not a good color on you.
Jealousy, right?
Okay. So I think Ralph was going to say something. Someone was going to say.
Yeah, so I was going to say, so I noticed that there's actually rested in the Chrome web store. So I'll start with Chrome first, and then if it doesn't work as good as the Firefox one, then I'll go to Firefox.
Yeah, so you can try it in Chrome. Here, yes, I'm looking at Postman here, and yeah, there's not much options for there's not much options for typing in for the post body to be nice and pretty, like in rested. So that's I'm trying to look at the documentation to see, because that would make life a lot easier. But it doesn't seem to be sending body data, form data, the form, raw data. Yeah, you have to type it out.
Yeah. Yinka,
Yes?
sorry, Former Jimmy is here. He has actually created the table. I don't know why he's chickening out.
Oh, okay.
So I'm speaking up for him since he's too scared.
Okay.
Don't be scared, Jimmy. You can do it.
I mean, okay, so Aya told me is usually very well spoken. So where's Aya?
Aya told me.
She's supposed to be part of that team.
They're all hiding.
Okay. All right. So what we'll do is the next one they can, if they can keep working at it and have it complete, and then the next session we can review it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Are they Apple team or Windows team?
Windows team.
Okay, good.
Right people.
You're looking for solidarity.
Discrimination is not good.
Ralph is trying to set up. He's trying to set up cliques. All right. Okay. So yeah, I think we'll end here. It's already 8:10. but let's try it out. We can create more new endpoints and all that. But yeah, let's try it out and let's see if we can get it all the way through where you have an endpoint and it writes data to the database setting. Then you're in a good position. All right. Okay. Any questions before we shut this down?
Sorry, Yinka, just one more question. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, on Fola computer, every
Yes.
time he tries to use Classroom on MySQL,